Hi everyone, this is Renee Martin with HDD Broker, the queen of HDD, and what the heck happened in 2022? So stick with me and I'll break down what happened in the used market this year and give a little prediction for 2023. So a few factors came together in 2022 to make it an extraordinary year, one that I haven't seen in 20 years. So first of all, we had the pent-up demand from COVID for faster streaming services, more telecom installations, which put pressure on the OEMs to produce more equipment. And they couldn't respond because they were dealing with really acute supply chain shortages, especially with electronic and hydraulic components. So when you combine the lack of new assets and the huge demand in the work in telecom, people turned to the used market in a really big way. So let me break that down for you a little more specifically. Typically, we have about 450 drills on our website at any given time. Right now, we're hovering at about 200 of them. But even more specifically, in the drill range between 0 and 30,000 pound drills, a couple years ago, we had 250 of those, and now we have less than 70. And of those, they're mostly older models, high-hour options. And so, but even those became opportunities for contractors who were just looking for anything, and we were selling 1620s for $80,000 and $90,000. And if you think that's crazy, our average price of the Vermeer 2022 S3, which I would say in 2022 is probably our most sought after drill. Well, last year, the average price of that was about $84,000. This year, the average price for 2022 was $150,000. Extraordinary. I mean, almost new pricing for 20,000 pound drills. And that wasn't the only drill that saw a huge inflated, price spike. JT20s increased by an average of 40%, 2330s increased by an average of 45%. So really anything in that 10 to 20,000 pound price range went up between 40 and even 70,000 or 70% higher than what it was selling for in prior years. And so we had this big buying frenzy in the spring, which really drove the prices up. And so now we're at the point where some buyers are like, whoa, these prices are too high. We're just going to fix some of our older equipment. We're going to wait for the new ones to come in. And so we're seeing a little bit of pushback on the used equipment, on the pricing. But nonetheless, my prediction for 2023 is this. There's no end in sight for telecom work right now. And the OEMs are not going to be able to satisfy that demand for at least the next 9 to 12 months. And so I think as a result, we're still going to see inventory shortages on the used side, absolutely. And we're still going to see elevated pricing, but I think it's going to be a little bit softer than it was in the kind of those early frenetic days of pricing. But I think ultimately, the used market is going to be the primary source for contractors who need equipment this year to work, and the work is really out there. So I predict we're still going to have a really hot market in 2023, but it's still a good time to buy, and gosh, if you're in the market to sell, it's an excellent seller's market right now. What do you think is going to happen in 2023? I'd love to know. Send me a message, renee@hddbroker.com, and don't forget, there's no crying and drilling. Thanks, everyone.